you cough. I've caught the cold of the Buddha Dharma, and I can't stop coughing the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming today. It's kind of exciting. I have my heart was like beating before doing the service, and I don't know, not that I'm not nervous usually during service, but it's really exciting to have everybody here. We have wonderful Naijin that we set up here on the stage. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, okay. We have the MAs came and they helped set up all of this stuff. And in case you were wondering what I was doing during the pandemic, I picked up woodworking. I was whittling away. And no, I'm just kidding. Apparently this has been here for a long time and we haven't opened up in a while. So I had never seen this before. And so when I saw it, it's just beautiful. So I'm so happy that we have this opportunity, under maybe different circumstances, but it's wonderful that we have this beautiful Naijin for us to now share while we have these trial services. So we'll continue today's service with the sutra chanting of Junirai. Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs, Naman Dubs.慶州天人職業阿弥陀仙両族尊在非未明安那国無料武士修医療金色心情如線のシャマタ行如造文両目上略少年へ子が将来弥陀尊面前炎上如満月以降有如千日月少女天空苦しな子が将来弥陀尊観音将来観中十修十名相法将軍信福下呂魔剣満子が将来弥陀尊無備無垢交渉上修徳経血女国小佐利悪徳自在子が将来弥陀尊実法名門菩薩衆無料小魔上三段一生修上願力人子が将来弥陀尊根体保険地所見前言少女明大座おひざ上如線の子が 将来未来損実法将来勝負し権限人図しやな戦後尊厳上業子が将来未来損小無常無我と薬女水月伝世の一種説法無明寺子が将来未来損非損無説無悪名薬無女人悪道不主任死心教非損子が将来未来損非損無料勉強無所主悪知識往生不退死亡大子が将来未来損我説依存苦毒寺修善無縁了解水小逆前言少女者世襲上小意根南蛮大文南蛮大文南蛮大文南蛮大文南蛮大文南蛮大文願にしくどく平等性祭道本菩提心往生安楽根Namandubs, namandubs, 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 namandubs. Of the golden chain. I guess you rise, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, please rise if you're able to. Do you guys stand up when you're at home? golden chain. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Naman Dabutsu, Naman Dabutsu, Naman Dabutsu. You may be seated. Okay, so moving right along, I will now give the Dharma talk. So again, thank you everyone for coming today. It's wonderful to see half of your smiling faces. At least I'm assuming that you're smiling. It's wonderful to start moving towards getting back together. Of course, when we come back together, we'll be able to catch up, to talk, to find out what's going to happen in the future, what plans that we have. And it's wonderful. It's one of my favorite things to hear when I come to the temple, just kind of the constant, murmur of people talking where you can't really tell what anyone is saying, but everyone is excited and they're all happy. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. It's also my dream, I guess, that everyone, when they come together and they talk, they would talk about the Dharma, that they would talk about the Nembutsu. Of course, all of us have different things that we're interested in, that we have in common with other people, and so those end up being the things that we talk about, right? Whether it's sports, everybody likes, talking about the weather, as I've talked about in Dharma Talks before. But, if you have different hobbies or something that you share, maybe TV shows that you both watch, or, as a group you watch, then those are things that you end up talking about. However, and, maybe I'm wrong, maybe all the people here talk about the Dharma all the time with everybody else, but it seems like Jodo Shinshu, about Buddhism, that the Dharma is something that people kind of compartmentalize into their life, right? It's okay, Sunday morning, we go there, we listen to it, maybe we talk to some people there about it, but then afterwards, for the rest of the week, we don't talk about it. And so that's kind of my dream, is that if people could talk about the Dharma in their lives. And so it becomes important for each individual to make that, I guess, a priority in everyone's life, to make the effort to either study or listen, or, just to bring it up in conversation. So it might seem a little bit foreign at first to start doing that, and that's okay. But if you start to get to know each other, when you start to look into it a little more, and you start to understand each other a little better, then it's easier. So at first it might seem like almost speaking a different language. And I feel like I kind of had an experience like this, which is, doesn't have to do with Buddhism. Well, kind of. Anyway, so over Zoom yesterday, we had a Ubiksi Reunion. So Ubiksi stands for Young Buddhist International Cultural Student Study Exchange Program. So there's different groups from all the different Kyodan. So from the BCA, from the mainland America, we sent a group of, I think it's like 16 to 25, I think is the top limit, year-olds, to go to Japan. And then there's also a group that goes from Brazil, which, maybe you didn't know, but the greatest number of people of Japanese descent outside of Japan is in Brazil. So that's where there's a lot of Japanese Brazilians there. So a group from Brazil, there's a group from Canada, and then there's a group from Hawaii who has their own Kyodan, their own group of temples. So we all go with, so I'm clearly not 16 to 25. I went as a chaperone in 2019. And I was able to help these young people go around and really experience not just Japan, but Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. So it's put on by our headquarters, Nishi Honganji, and they have a fantastic program where we go to different temples, we go to the mother temple, we learn so much about Buddhism, and we even kind of go to some of the temples that Shinran Shonin himself went to. So that's a really amazing experience. And if you have people in your family that, around that age, I highly recommend it. I actually don't know when the next one will be, when Japan will open, but it's a fantastic program. So we were able to have a reunion over Zoom yesterday, and I met up with some of the people. And as topics kind of go around, one of the kids started talking about a baby. And they tried to describe the size of the baby. And the unit of measure that they chose to use was a watermelon. And I was immediately confused. Not even because it was a watermelon, but because a watermelon can change so drastically in size. You can have like the little mini watermelons, you can have the big, kind of regular watermelons, you can have like these ginormous, right, like, I don't know, state fair size watermelons, right? So when you say a baby is the size of a watermelon, it could be this ginormous baby, it could be a very, very small baby, and I didn't understand what this person was trying to say. And they even admitted like, yeah, my grandpa comes back from wherever he gets his water. So then he proceeded to tell me that it's something about his family where they really enjoy food, and that's the way they measure things. So he said, yeah, my mom and like her sisters, they would talk about babies, and they really love baking. And when you go to the store, you can get pounds of butter, and that's how you buy them. And so they would say, yeah, that was a 9 butter baby. Which, again, then that's okay, right? Like they understood what they were talking about when it was like, okay, 9 butter baby. So in that way, I feel like it's important for us to have this kind of shared language. And coming from the outside or starting out very new, you might be very confused about, oh, well, like what is this, 9 butter baby? I'm not really sure what that means. But eventually you understand. In the same way, if we start to talk and think and study the Buddha Dharma, then it becomes easier for us to not just recognize ourselves, but to communicate with other people. And I believe that this communication of the Dharma is at the very heart of Jodo Shinshu and the way it can really make a difference in the world. Because Buddhism, as we understand it, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism especially, does not give us any kind of instructions about how to live our life, right? We have the teachings of the Buddha, which were very specific to the monks. So if we were to be monks in a monastery or something, they do have some kind of guidelines. It's very, very long in terms of all the rules that they have to follow. However, us being Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, we are lay people, and so we don't follow those kind of precepts. And so there's nothing really that tells us what the right thing for us to do in our lives. We kind of have to figure it out on our own. There's nothing that we do that the Buddha says, oh, you should do this, and this will make your life better, or you should try doing this, and then if you avoid this, then it'll be better. Rather, it's up to us to really look into the teaching and understand it ourselves. And hopefully, what is prescribed to us, what is described to us by Shinran Shonin, is that if we study the Dharma, if we try to understand it, if we really have this awakening within us, then it will dramatically change us as a person. So before we really understand and afterwards, we are two different people. We will change completely in how we view the world, and how we live our life, and how we interact with other people. And so this is really the goal. And once we change as people, then what we do then becomes Buddhist. So it's not so much that Buddha tells us what to do, and then we do that, and that's Buddhist. But we understand the Buddha, and it changes who we are. And then because of that, what we do is then Buddhist. So does that make a little bit of sense? Okay. I said that for the first time last week. I'm not sure if it was good or not. So it's important for us then to, of course, some come to temple and hear the Dharma, but then also in our everyday lives to try to look for it, to study it, to listen, to do whatever you can that would help to ultimately learn your own understanding of Buddhism. And so when we think about what it is that we're doing, it isn't so much that we have to look for instructions, but rather we know that because we understand the teaching, that what we're doing is in line with the Buddha Dharma. And in doing so, we can talk about it, we can that's really the way that the Buddha Dharma will take heart in any community, is if we as people, as individuals, take that initiative to change ourselves and then share. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and get a soapbox and stand on it and start preaching to people. I was just thinking, has anyone seen a soapbox? I've never seen a soapbox before. No? Okay, all right. that thing comes. I'll look that up later. Anyway, but I'm not saying that you have to be preachy about it, right? You're not telling other people how to live their lives, but simply to have this conversation. Of course, it'll start with your family, your friends, people that you're close to, but if you're comfortable enough, when people ask you about things, inevitably, right, we get asked for advice from somebody, and when we have that, we have an opportunity to share our view, right? So again, it's not that we're preaching, it's not that we're saying Buddha said that you should do this, and so that's what you should do, but our own mentality, our own mind, our own hearts have been changed by the Dharma, and so what comes out of us will be Buddhistic, it will be the Buddha Dharma. With that, I hope that everyone continues to stay safe during the pandemic. We're not quite out of the woods yet, right? There's kind of like a spike, but I think it's this great opportunity for us to continue to deepen our understanding of the Dharma, and hopefully when we come out and we're all together, we can all share the Dharma with each other. If you all please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Dabutsu. Naman Dabutsu. Okay. If you could all please rise for our closing Gatha Ondokusan 2. You guys have to sing it on your own. I can't sing it because I guess it messes with the audio or something. So I would have sang it, but I can't. Gassho for closing meditation. When we entrust ourselves to Amida's primal vow, we who are like broken tiles and bits of pebbles are transmuted into gold. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Dabutsu. Naman Dabutsu. Naman Dabutsu. Naman Dabutsu. You may be seated. Thank you again, everyone, for attending today. We will now have a promotion for our virtual bazaar, followed by announcements.
Hey, Sacramento, what are you going to be doing this summer?
I know what I'll be doing. Along with Sharon Ito, I will be co-hosting the second annual Sacramento Buddhist Church Bazaar at Home Telethon and Fundraiser.
That's right, Koichi. Remember all the fun we had last year? Interviews with Reverend Bob and Reverend Patty.
I say, what is really of value and why?
Our BCA Bishop, Reverend Marvin Harada.
College, I got quite interested in Buddhism.
And performances by Merv Maruyama. And Henry Mizushima.
Those were awesome, and it sure was a lot of fun, Sharon. And we're doing it again this year with performances from our Betsuin Choir Quartet, interviewing some of our own Betsuin members like Leanne Castle.
Coming to you with this beautiful background from the Northwestern Hope.
We have a singer, Alexi Ishida. And you'll get to see me chat one-on-one with our resident minister, Reverend Matt Hamasaki.
Most important was my Dharma school teachers.
So we'll be there, and we hope that you join us on August 14th from 12 noon to 5 p.m.
That's 5 hours of interviews, performances, cooking demonstrations, and more.
So don't forget to mark your calendars. That's August 14th, 12 noon to 5 p.m. We'll see you there.